party people? You are on air with Erin, and today we are baking my 24th birthday cake together. And yes, I am super casual because who needs to get all dolled up to just throw a bunch of things in a bowl? So I actually love to cook, and I love to bake, and I love to decorate desserts in particular. But what do I love more than all of those things? Getting really excited about really obscure things. Let me explain. I have a tradition of making my own birthday cakes. A lot of my friends think it's sad and they insist that I don't make my own birthday cake, but I like to, especially when I can connect the age I'm turning or the year that my birthday falls on to some sort of movie or song reference or theme or something strange. For example, I did not make this birthday cake, but I turned 22 on February 3rd, 2019. That's a 2-3-19 for all of you Monsters Inc. fans.
2319! We have a 2319!
So I had a birthday party where I dressed like Mike Wazowski and made all of my guests dress like Monsters Inc. characters. And then I had a birthday cake that looked like this. We also then went to the bars and threw socks at people and said, "We have a 2319!" Then we have last year's birthday when I turned 23. I like pop punk and punk rock music.
Nobody likes you when you're 23.
So I made an entire birthday cake around that. And I guess it was pretty cool because I got wished happy birthday twice on 2 separate social media platforms by Mark Hoppus and Blink-182. So let's just keep getting more obscure and make my 24th birthday cake yet another punk rock reference to the one and only Bowling for Soup. You may know the song 1985.
Her dreams went out the door when she turned 24.
Wouldn't say the dreams have gone out the door just yet, but we saw how January went, so I'm not holding my breath. Anyway, we are going to get started right now. I've already sort of started mixing the cake, but that's okay because the fun part is going to be when I decorate it. I'm also probably going to be kind of spastic. I sort of have a plan of how I want to incorporate that lyric onto this cake and design it, but I really don't. Let's go. So this is really loud. I am making red velvet cake. That is my favorite kind. Oh, baby. So despite the fact that I've been baking cakes for several years now and knew I was making a 3-layer cake, I still refuse to buy a 3rd pan. So I'm going to bake both layers here and then wait for those to cook and then bake the 3rd layer after the first 2. Because why would I want to be efficient, right? It really is the Braille method, as my father says. You just gotta feel it out, you know? And let it be very known, although I'm sure it is already very obvious. Debbie just hit the wall, she never had it. I am in no way 1 Prozac a day, husband's a CPA, a professional even close to what I am doing. Her dreams went out the door when she turned 24. I am the amateur of amateurs. With one man, what happened to her plan? And I'm probably doing a lot of things that would make people who actually know what they're doing cringe. And into the oven we go. 2. Now we're gonna wait 27 minutes. Right, these layers have come out of the oven. It's time for the toothpick test to make sure that they are done all the way through. If the toothpick comes out clean, they are done. Now you may be wondering, why did Erin change clothes and why is she in her car? Well, it's because I'm on my way to go buy a 4-tub pound of buttercream decorating icing. I already had some icing from a cake I made a few weeks ago and I knew I was going to need more. I knew this before I even started making the cake, but I wanted to bake the cake and get it cooling while I go get more to be efficient in my time. Yet I didn't think to buy a 3rd baking pan to make all 3 cake layers at the same time. We have arrived. Oh my goodness, it is so dangerous to let me in here. Here's what we need. Honestly, since I don't have a set idea for what I want to do with this cake, I'm kind of digging these like black sprinkles. Frosting secured. Let's go back. And we're back. So now it is time for what we call the Crumb Coat, which is the thin layer of icing you put around a cake and then you refrigerate it so that it's easier to put the decorations on and you don't dig up the cake underneath. Now, why did I go get specific decorator icing, you ask? Well, it's stiffer, it's pre-made in big quantities, and it's good for keeping its shape. It's not as thin and occasionally soupy as regular store-bought icing can be. Even though I am the most amateur of amateur cake decorators, I will say it's something that I love to do and that I've done for a long time. I took lessons with my mom in middle school and used the different frosting tips and different thicknesses, stiffnesses of frosting and everything. Learned how to pipe flowers and write names and words and letters, different borders and everything. Literally only took the beginner class. It was only a week long and I loved it. And I love making quote unquote fancy desserts for my loved ones and myself. We're gonna put the second layer on ever so carefully. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Ah! I am doing so many things that anyone who actually does this for a living or more regularly would be cringing at so hard right now. I apologize. This is just how I live my life. Well, isn't that just a beautifully even crumb coat? So now we put on the real layer. I've determined that I'm going to keep it white. The cake, the color is going to be white, but I'm going to add color to it with different icing tips and such. This is the most tedious part and arguably the part that I'm not the best at, because you have to go around and around and around in order to get it perfect. All right, here's what we're working with here. Pretty smooth. I'm gonna pop it back into the fridge again to chill before I put the decorations all over it. The side of my design is still going to be somewhat punk rocky, and we're going to do orange, blue, purple, and neon green. I don't know how this is gonna look, but we're gonna give it a shot. All right, and here's what we are working with. Something I haven't mentioned until now is that I actually have little bowling pins and bowling balls to put on the top so that it's bowling for soup. But then I also have a can of soup that I'm gonna put on top. I'm gonna empty it out, obviously, and I'm gonna save the soup for later, but somehow I'm gonna stick it on the top. I'm not sure how. My approach is going to be to put little swooshes across the cake of just alternating colors here. So I'll start with green, I guess, and we'll just take a hefty serving of green and I'll just go swoosh. Like that, and I'm just gonna speckle the cake with all different swooshes. Hello, things started to look a little too much like a fish, so I put in some black in there that I'm gonna use to write the lyrics on the top of the cake now. What I'm thinking is, her dreams went out the door when she turned. So 3 words per line, 24 at the bottom. We're gonna try it. Actually, before we do that, I think we're gonna put the little pins on the cake. Look how cute they are. I put a test pin on, and the lid that I have for my carrier and like my container that I'm gonna store it in barely like it touches the pin, so. I am so nervous that I'm gonna mess this up. Okay. We have one word, we have her. We have her. Dreams went, okay. No sugar, no, no, no. Oh my God. She didn't ruin it. It's fine. My dreams are coming true with this cake, but not with the plan for spacing I had gone for. So we're gonna have to do her dreams went out the door when she turned. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be a little door. It's gonna have to be a little door. Her dreams went out the door. Yeah! And she turned, and then a big 24. Maybe I should do the 24 first. 2, 4. When she turned. Okay, we got this. Oh, got a little crazy with that S there. Oh, we are in such good shape. We are in such good shape here. I might have spoken too soon. D. Well, it's not really that well centered. I was thinking turn in my head and not turned, which is 2 extra letters. So I was like, turn, T-U-R-N, plenty of space. Well, I got it to fit, right? This is gonna take a while to clean off. What I've just done is I took those sprinkles that we got at the craft store with the icing and did a little border at the bottom. You can see here, wee. And then I took the rest of the black icing and did just a circular outline of the top of the cake. So, last bit that we have to do is add the soup, which we can't do just yet because I have to cover it and put it in the fridge, but when I'm ready to eat it, I'll stick it right there. In case you were wondering why there were cat treats next to the cake, no, they are not in the cake. My cat got hungry while I was filming. Do I realize how ridiculous this entire ordeal has been? Yes, I do. Do I think it's awesome? Yes, I do. Now to save this soup.
And of course we are washing the can of soup all over with soap and water because we are not going to put it on a cake fresh out of the grocery store. Ladies and gentlemen, the final product. Yes!
I spent literally all day making this and the last year of my life expecting to make this, and I executed it, so pretty proud. I spent all day making a birthday cake that said her dreams went out the door when she turned 24 that was bowling for soup themed. My cake carrier just broke on my way out the door, and her dreams really did go out the door when she turned 24.
Debbie just hit the wall.